Good evening. I'd like to call the order of the St. Charles City Council meeting for Monday, May 16th, 2022. Nancy, please call the roll.
Wilkagis.
Here.
Fowler.
Here.
Hayleitner. Here. Bongard.
Here.
Bancroft.
Here.
Lencioni.
Yes.
Petrilla.
Here.
Wirball.
Here.
Besner.
Here.
Weber.
Here.
Thank you. Tonight's invocation will be given by Rita Hayleitner.
From the wisdom of Mother Teresa. People are often unreasonable, illogical, and self-centered. Forgive them anyway. If you are kind, people may accuse you of selfish, ulterior motives. Be kind anyway. If you are successful, you will win some false friends and some true enemies. Succeed anyway. If you are honest and frank, people may cheat you. Be honest and frank anyway. What you spend years building, someone could destroy overnight. Build anyway. If you find serenity and happiness, they may be jealous. Be happy anyway. The good you do today, people will often forget tomorrow. Do good anyway. Give the world the best you have, and it will never be enough. Give the world the best you have anyway.
Rich, please lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Will everyone please join me in the pledge?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, good evening. Tonight's one of my most favorite things to do, and I've only done one or two of them so far, so I'm excited to recognize another student athlete in D303. So tonight we are recognizing Alex Filipovich. He's a state champion boys swimming for St. Charles North, and I'll just read a little bit about him, and then I will call his coach, Rob Rooney, up, and you as well, for presentation. Alec is a three-time state champion in the 100 fly and 2002 state champion in the 200 IM. Alec was member of the 2020 and 2019 IHSA state championship teams and for SCN. He will be attending the University of Texas Business School, congratulations, and will be a student athlete on the U of T swimming and diving team. Alec also swims for St. Charles North swim team and has been an incredible mentor and captain for the SCN boys swimming and diving team. And Alex, since I don't know you very well, I tried to search a little bit up about you, and I found a quote from, I think it was not too long ago, from your coach. And Mr. Rooney said, "I have been blessed with great swimmers in my 22 years at St. Charles North. Alec has a winning mentality and is a very hard worker. He has the mentality that he will not be beaten. He has integrity and is a genuine human being. He is great with the younger kids. He is the last warrior left from the state championship teams." And the reason why I chose that is because I think that in these cases, when there's a state champion, what impresses me the most about you, individuals like you, are that you give back and that you're good with younger kids and that you set a great example for kids that come in the future ahead of after you. So I just want to say congratulations and welcome you up here and your coach.
St. Charles has had a really great reputation of just swimming, and of course it comes with great coaches like Rooney and Tim and Coach John, and the cables are also really deep inside of the swimming community. And also I'd like to thank the city of St. Charles for allowing us to have these great pools and maintaining them so well. It really gives the opportunity for kids to swim and have an opportunity to swim, which is really important for many kids. So thank you guys so much.
Ms. Hayleitner, I like the anyway part today, but I'm going to add something to it anyway and every day. Every day, Alec has been one of the most humble, genuine human beings that I've encountered as a student athlete. And he has been very, I would say, successful on paper, very accessible with awards, but what people don't see is what's behind the scenes. And his genuine attitude and respect for all the kids that are out there that are not at his level, and how he tutors, embraces, and fosters them to be better people. So I cannot thank him enough.
So on behalf of the City of St. Charles and the City Council, we'd like to present you with your street sign. Okay, we have a proclamation to read, and as soon as I'm done, I'll call Anita Walls and Ellen Gibson up here from Moms Demand Action to talk a little bit about their organization. This proclamation declares the first Friday in June to be National Gun Violence Awareness Day in St. Charles to honor and remember all victims and survivors of gun violence and to declare that we as a country must do more to reduce gun violence. Whereas every day more than 110 Americans are killed by gun violence alongside more than 200 who are shot and wounded, and Americans are 26 times more likely to die by gun homicide than people in other high-income countries. Whereas Illinois has an average of 1,505 gun deaths every year with a rate of 11.9 deaths per 100,000 people, where cities across the nation, including St. Charles, are working to end the senseless violence with evidence-based solutions. Whereas support for the Second Amendment rights of law-abiding citizens goes hand in hand with keeping guns away from people with dangerous histories. Whereas mayors and law enforcement officers know their communities best and are the most familiar with local criminal activity and how to address it, and are best positioned to understand how to keep their citizens safe. Whereas gun violence prevention is more important than ever as the COVID-19 pandemic continues to exacerbate gun violence after more than 2 years of increased gun sales, increased calls to suicide and domestic violence hotlines, and an increase in city gun violence. Whereas anyone can join this campaign by wearing orange on June 3rd, 2022 to raise awareness about gun violence and honor the lives of gun violence victims and survivors. Now, therefore, I, Laura Vitek, Mayor of the City of St. Charles, do hereby proclaim June 3rd, 2022 to be National Gun Violence Awareness Day. I encourage all citizens to support their local communities' efforts to prevent the tragic efforts of gun violence and to honor and value human lives. In addition to that day being declared and to wear orange, we're also having the municipal lights be orange through June 3rd through June 5th. So Anita and Ellen, please feel free to come up.
Hi, everyone. My name is Anita Walls, and I'm a volunteer with Kane and Kendall County Moms Demand Action. Thank you, Mayor Vitek and City Council for recognizing Gun Violence Awareness Day and honoring survivors of gun violence. Firearms are currently the leading cause of death for children ages 1 through 19 in the U.S. Gun violence is not only the mass shootings we hear about, like in Buffalo and California just this weekend, but also suicide by firearm and domestic violence. Gun violence is an epidemic, and working together as a community is the way we can work to end it. Thank you for taking action to bring awareness to this issue.
Thank you both. Thanks for all the work you do. Appreciate it. Appreciate you. Oh, sure. Thank you. I now will welcome Jamie Munns, the Chair of Youth Commission, to the podium to give a short presentation.
Hello, everybody. Thank you for having me. I'm Jamie Munns. I am from the St. Charles Youth Commission. I am the chairperson, and I'm here to present to you a brief update of our work over the past 2 years. I was unable to come this past year because of COVID-related reasons. Okay. So I think you all have a presentation that you can see, I hope. Okay, excellent. The Youth Commission has remained active over these past 2 years, meeting via Zoom and then in person, again, when practical. Our 10-member commission has just had 3 new appointees in May, and we're very excited to move into our new term season. We have maintained a strong collaborative relationship with our community partners. Those include the library, school and park districts, the police department, and Tri-City Family Services. We keep connected with those agencies and organizations where the youth of St. Charles are deeply rooted and serviced. These partners and others provided us resources and speakers over the past 2 years to share with us the challenges and concerns that are impacting the youth within our community. These included speakers from D303 who spoke about the often unseen and unmet needs of our bilingual youth community. Chief Judge Hull spoke about family court and engagement with youth within our community. And Tri-City Family Services had several speakers who discussed the youth mental health crisis and different available resources that are available. Our student consultant role, which was originally conceived by our prior chair, Cheryl Denz, was greatly expanded in the last 2 years under the direction of Donna Clavelli and Laura Christopher in 2020 and then 2020-21. And that included broadening the group to over 10 members, which spans both the middle and high schools. These student consultants have helped provide us direct insight into the current challenges that are facing the youth in our community. And these help us understand where support is most needed within the schools and with our students. Moreover, it really helps serve the schools, within our schools, as ambassadors and voices that share information about the Youth Commission, about the grant opportunities that we offer, and it increases community engagement and awareness about our community partners and the resources that are offered there to those students and their peers. Additionally, our continued partnership with D303 has really entrenched us with the Leadership Studies program within the high school. And that program engages the high school students in civic leadership and community involvement. So that connection has brought students from that program to the Youth Commission time over time by presenting their proposals for grant requests for the different type of projects that they are trying to run and fund through our grant programs. And we look forward to them coming back to us time and again to present what their efforts have yielded and showing us what our grant funding has brought them as far as their yielding their rewards. So they have come back and given us presentations on those. Here are just a few of the grants that we have funded over the past 2 years, benefiting the youth of St. Charles in their educational endeavors, their civic engagement, and benefiting their health and well-being. The Commission has awarded our full funding in each budget year of 2021 and 2022, and has had to turn away applicants at the end of each of those budget years as a result. In the 10 years prior to those, we consistently returned funds, at times over a third of our budget, due to lack of grant requests. We see this rise in requests in large part, due to increased engagement by our commissioners because of our hard work of updating our bylaws, improving our presence within the community, and working very proactively with our community partners. Lastly, we're proud to have created the Youth Impact Award. This was innovated by one of our members, Dr. Dan Kelly. This award is presented to deserving youth in the community who have shown outstanding dedication and commitment to volunteerism and service. And we want to thank the City Council and the Mayor for allowing us to present these at City Council meetings during your meetings. It's a very impactful recognition for those students and their families to be here in your presence and get those awards here. But it also serves as a positive highlight to residents for the good work that is sponsored by the city through the work of the Youth Commission, and we do appreciate the support that's provided by you for that. That's all I have for a presentation, but I would like to entertain any questions you have about the commission, the work that we do, anything that you might have for us.
Thank you, Jamie.
You're welcome.
Does anyone have any questions? Well, we appreciate the work you do on behalf of the city of St. Charles. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the omnibus vote as reflected in our Monday, May 16, 2022 City Council agenda.
Second.
Moved by Bancroft, second by 123 Weber. Any questions? Nancy, please call the roll.
Haylander?
Yes.
Bungard?
Yes.
Bancroft?
Yes.
Lencioni?
Yes.
Petrilla?
Yes.
Wirball?
Yes.
Hesner?
Yes.
Weber?
Yes.
Kulkaitis?
Yes.
Fowler?
Yes.
Thank you. Item A, a recommendation to approve an agreement with Infor US for annual software maintenance and support services for $185,157. Director Gunderson, go ahead.
Thank you, Mayor. Yeah, so this recommendation tonight is for software maintenance for our core enterprise application software for Lawson. So provides for maintenance and support service for the core applications, including financials, HR, payroll, and inventory control. With that, I'll take any questions there may be.
Does anyone have any questions?
What was the contract last year?
It was 6% less than this year.
Okay.
Any other questions? Okay. Looking for a motion.
So move.
Second.
Moved by Wirball, seconded by Petrilla. Nancy, please call the roll.
Payliner?
Yes.
Conger?
Yes.
Bancroft?
Yes.
Lencioni?
Yes.
Petrilla?
Yes.
Wirball?
Yes.
Besner?
Yes.
Weber?
Yes.
Kulkaitis?
Yes.
Fala?
Yes.
Thank you. The next few items, I'll read through them, and you're available if anyone has questions. Item B, recommendation to approve a city parking lot closure for 3rd Street Dance and Theater Academy Father's Day Dance Party. Any questions for Chief? Okay, for a motion?
Second.
Moved by Bancroft, seconded by Wirball. Nancy, please call the roll.
Payliner?
Yes.
Conger?
Yes.
Bancroft?
Yes.
Lencioni?
Yes.
Petrilla?
Yes.
Wirball?
Yes.
Besner?
Yes.
Weber?
Yes.
Kulkaitis?
Yes.
Fala?
Yes.
Your Honor, just before we move on, sorry, I had to get my hand up fast up. Chief, this is the same thing we had last time, right? Last year?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Repeat event.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Okay. You did the motion, right? Yes, got it. Okay. Item C, recommendation for approval of street closure for annual farmers market from June 2022 through October 2022. Any questions?
Second.
Moved by Lencioni, seconded by Petrilla. Nancy, please call the roll.
Payliner?
Yes.
Conger?
Yes.
Bancroft?
Yes.
Lencioni?
Yes.
Petrilla?
Yes.
Wirball?
Yes.
Besner?
Yes.
Weber?
Yes.
Kulkaitis?
Yes.
Fala?
Yes.
Thank you. Item D, recommendation to approve use of Linga Park for the spring 2022 Train the Trooper event taking place on May 21st, 2022. Any questions?
will move.
Second.
Moved by Weber, seconded by Petrilla. Any questions? Nancy, please call the roll.
I have a
Oh, yeah.
question. Is this just people camping out in the grounds over there? What is this?
It's a culmination of that, and there's a cannon launch, and you want to take a second?
Yeah, just know a little bit about it, yeah.
Hi, Kim Olay, 526 South 16th Street, and also the chairman of the Campaign Heritage Foundation. This is our one of our 2 annual events that we hold where we have the troopers come out and train. So the military comes out and trains. We do the cannon firing, we do some education and that type of thing. I don't believe this year we may have 1 or 2 horses.
Okay.
Cavalry that sleep over, but it will not be an overnight.
Okay. Okay. Great. Thank you.
Thank you, Kim. Thank you. Any other questions? Okay. I think we had a yeah, all right, so we're looking for a vote. Nancy, please call the roll.
I missed who.
Weber and Petrilla.
Okay. Okay, sorry. Payliner?
Yes.
Conger?
Yes.
Bancroft?
Yes.
Lencioni?
Yep.
Petrilla?
Yes.
Wirball?
Yes.
Besner?
Yes.
Weber?
Yes.
Kulkaitis?
Yes.
Fala?
Yes.
Thank you. Item E, recommendation to approve a service agreement for the St.Charles Business Alliance in the amount of $698,600 for fiscal year 2022-2023. I know John is looking here if anyone has any questions, and Colleen's available as well.
Second.
Moved by Lencioni, seconded by Bongard. Any other questions or comments? Nancy, please call the roll.
Payliner?
Yes.
Conger?
Yes.
Bancroft?
Yes.
Lencioni?
Yep.
Petrilla?
Yes.
Wirball?
Yes.
Besner?
Yes.
Weber?
Yes.
Kulkaitis?
Yes.
Fala?
Yes.
Okay, item F, a recommendation to approve the service agreement with the History Museum for fiscal year 2022-23 in the amount of $50,000.
Move for approval. Second.
Moved by Petrilla, seconded by Wirball. Any questions? Nancy, please call the roll.
Payliner?
Yes.
Conger?
Yes.
Bancroft?
Yes.
Lencioni?
Yes.
Petrilla?
Yes.
Wirball?
Yes.
Besner?
Yes.
Weber?
Yes.
Kulkaitis?
Yes.
Fala?
Yes.
Thank you. Item G, and Chief is available to run through this for us all. Recommendation to modify city code with the following revisions to Title V, Business Licenses and Regulations, Chapter 5.08, Alcoholic Beverages, Sections 5.08.09, License Classifications, and 5.08.110, Number of Licenses of the St. Charles Municipal Code.
Thank you, Mayor. I just want to spend a couple minutes kind of building a bridge of where we were, where we are now, and then where we're going with this ordinance revision. So this appeared earlier this evening at the Liquor Control Commission and advanced forward with a 4-0 recommendation. So I just want to read a couple minutes of some prepared remarks in this regard. So Illinois first legalized video gaming in 2009. The first terminals went live within the state in 2012. We as a city opted in and passed this ordinance in 2015, and our first terminals went live in 2016. Today we have 107 gaming terminals inside 20 establishments within St. Charles. There are 3 additional locations that have applied for gaming that are in the state's queue, and we have another 6 or so, some of those I think are going to speak tonight, that are waiting word on tonight's ordinance recommendation to be licensed as soon as possible. Our current ordinance stipulates that businesses must operate for a 1-year period before obtaining a video gaming license from the city. This at times has fostered discussions with both city staff and elected officials alike, and tonight I bring you an ordinance modification addressing those concerns following the direction that we received from the winter retreat. So at the retreat, staff was directed to enhance opportunities for gaming operators and operations within St. Charles with some very narrow guidelines. We were told to look at greater flexibility in allowing existing businesses looking to expand into other ventures inside St. Charles dispensation in regards to the 1-year waiting period. And then secondly, improve our ability to possibly attract and retain new businesses so long as we continue our stance towards allowing video gaming as an ancillary use only and not the primary purpose of the business. Furthermore, there was desire to prohibit video gaming cafes, which the attached ordinance does, and we were asked to look at the total number of licenses. So as you might recall at the retreat, I circulated the framing of how St. Charles compares to other communities of comparable size as far as gaming terminals and locations. Lombard, South Elgin, Carroll Stream, Streamwood, there was a number of communities I used. I also indicated that every community within Kane County, with the exception of one, has currently opted in for video gaming. So tonight's proposal includes some of the direction we received, and I'll go through that in greater detail. So first, we are going to, I think, be trailblazers in this regard. We have codified in tonight's ordinance the prohibition against video gaming cafes inside the city. Secondly, should we suspect that somebody is operating once licensed as a video gaming cafe, the Liquor Commissioner, Mayor Vitek, has the ability to inspect the financials of a business with a video gaming license to ensure their net terminal income, so that's the proceeds they receive from the losses of the terminal, to demonstrate that that net terminal income from the state does not exceed 50% of their gross revenues, in other words, food and beverage sales, in a given quarter. If we see that, the mayor and the liquor commissioner has the ability to suspend, revoke, or alter the number of machines in the establishment. Currently, the state allows up to 6 machines per establishment. Should we see this demonstrated for an entire year, that business would not be eligible for renewal. Additionally, so long as a new establishment and their majority owner operates an existing qualified establishment within the city, they would have the ability to obtain a video gaming license right away, and they would be exempt from the 1-year waiting period. Additionally, Mr. Peppers, we had multiple discussions on this. This is Mr. Peppers came up with additionally new businesses, so long as their proposed business operates substantially similar to the previous qualified licensed establishment for a minimum of 6 months, they too would be exempt from the 1-year waiting period. So I want to clarify that we are in no way trying to encourage or expand operations. We're trying to be more flexible with businesses either looking to open up that have currently demonstrated the ability to maintain operations within St. Charles, or go to an establishment that was previously a restaurant, a tavern, and not a video gaming cafe. Lastly, we were asked to look at the number of licenses. So the language includes the automatic termination of licenses upon license closure, and the number of licenses eligible will mirror those issued. So as you know, each and every time a liquor license is issued in the city, it goes before liquor control and then on to city council. So that'll be in place, and we'll have those codified within our ordinance. With that, there are some operators that would like to speak, but before that happens, I can answer any questions you might have along with Mr. Peppers or Heather McGuire.
Ed, I think did you go like this?
No, I'm okay.
I don't get any questions or comments. Okay, sorry.
Thank you.
So we discussed this at the workshop retreat, and I recall we were going to discuss this at a council committee meeting. Why are we discussing it in a council meeting, not a committee meeting?
You can have at a council meeting just as much time to discuss an item that you'd like. Committee is committee of the whole. So we just brought it here to also save some of our businesses some time, because we would have to go another 2 weeks. And we do have, fortunately, in the city of St. Charles, we're very transparent. We have several venues in which this decision has to go through. Like, unlike other municipalities that may have the liquor commissioner just make the decision, and or a liquor commission or just the council, we go through a separate body, liquor commission, to you all. And instead of going to you all twice, we are coming here tonight. So you're free to make any comments or, of course, ask any questions that you may have missed at the retreat. Go ahead.
You know what, this is actually for the crowd, because I'm looking at some people that I believe work in that industry. So how many people here right now are opening an establishment where you wouldn't be able to have video gaming, you know, if you're planning on opening, you know, or don't have it right now? Okay, so keep your hand up if you've been working and operated in a liquor license establishment or bar. Keep it up if you've been here for working in this industry for less than 2 years. Less than 2 years, less than 1 year even. So have you been serving in this? If you have not been, like, have you worked in bars in St. Charles for less than 2 years? Yeah, absolutely. That's exactly what I mean, your entire life. So, yeah, your hand goes down, right, so 2 years. So what I'm seeing is this looks incredibly like, of the people here, none of you would be eligible to have, you know, any kind of gaming, except you've all been working here in this town, in this industry, forever. So I think this is genius. I think that this, you know, solves a problem that didn't, you know, like, this problem didn't exist. You know, you've got all of these people here who were opening facilities that were forced to, you know, operate at a competitive disadvantage, and we're correcting it. And I think this is genius on the city of St. Charles. You know, I mean, literally, that was a lot of hands that were up, you know, that have already proved that they can operate, you know, positively and with, you know, community spirit in mind, you know. And I think that this is great, Chief. I applaud you for, you know, finding a way to get through this. And Nick as well. I think that this is absolutely spectacular. I'm proud we're doing this.
Okay.
Thank you. Other questions? Rita?
Yeah. First of all, to Mr. Wirball's point, we have discussions at the committee level so that then it can be processed and the public can get a chance to weigh in. Then we meet at council. So, I mean, why have committee? You know, if we can discuss everything here. You're right, we can have our conversation. But that's my point, because I, too, read it in the minutes that it was going to be presented at a committee meeting. Chief, even though Paul did his little hand-raising thing, I can't see everybody who raised their hand. What other 6 others are waiting for tonight's discussion and vote?
By establishment?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, by establishment, sorry.
Outside of the 3 that are in queue with the state?
I'm guessing I know the 3 queue in the state, but I...
Okay, so let's see. The Lewis, Duke's Northwoods, the Hive, Whiskey Bend, the Office.
Yeah, over there.
Don's and the Beach Hut. There was a few others. I think right now in queue we have Billy Bricks. I believe the Hive was in queue with the state. And I believe one other, but the name escapes me. So it's in your report for government operations.
Okay, all of them are listed.
Well, the ones that are in queue, I do what's in queue and what's...
Yeah, well, that I know queue,
I don't have that in front of me, but I believe there's 3
okay.
in queue.
That was my other point, Chief. I understand the mayor's desire for expediency. I just was hoping that we're not changing the ordinance for 1 or 2 people.
No,
you know, that kind of...
To be honest with you, and, you know, since 16, so we're now 6 years into this, what we're seeing tonight with the 5 or 6 that are in attendance, and I believe 1 or 2 are going to speak, it is a pretty frequent inquiry into my office or the mayor's office.
Okay.
So it's happened a number of times throughout the last 6 years. It's not something that all of a sudden has happened overnight. This is something that, because of that 1 year, you know, moratorium, we've had discussions and questions.
Yeah, and now we got 3 pages added onto our ordinance. Thank you to you and, you know, Mr. Peppers for your work, whereas 1 year waiting period took care of that, but now we're adding all the language. And so I trust that you will, you know, stay on top of that and all the future businesses hoping to get video gambling in their establishments. Again, you know, the signage, all that kind of thing I'm sure they're all educated in that.
Yes.
And, okay,
Absolutely.
good, thank you. I had one more point, but I guess the bottom line is ancillary use only, that's.
As an ancillary use,
Yeah,
correct.
yeah.
We are prohibiting video gaming cafes with the passage of this ordinance should, you know, it be a positive vote.
Okay, thank you.
How do you plan on checking out these possible video gaming cafes? Like, are you just going to do walk-ins, or what are you going to do?
A couple things. So first and foremost, to qualify for a video gaming license with the state, you need a consumption on-site liquor license. So that'll actually happen through the city. So before that even happens, we will have been in that establishment. That establishment will have come before this body, and a liquor license will be decided upon. Once there's an issuance of that liquor license, should that establishment apply, we can look at their business model, their floor plan, a number of things to determine whether or not we believe that they're a cafe. Should they sneak in or slide in, which I think is going to be next to impossible, with the liquor commissioner having the ability to look at the financials, I really think that puts us in a position where, as you know, monthly I provide the reports from the state. We have, I know Bill's not here, but we have alcohol tax receipts to look at each month. We can look at sales tax numbers, look at food and beverage sales. So if we see the scales tipping where, you know, if their net terminal income, and just to refresh the council's memory, so of the losses that go through a machine, 32.5% go to the business, 32.5% go to the holder of the games, 29% goes to the state of Illinois, 5% back to the city, and 0.80% to the company that oversees the computer system. So should we see those net terminal income proceeds exceeding 50% of their food and beverage sales, we'll be able to take a look at that through the mayor's office, and I think we could easily bring that forward to the liquor commission.
But you mentioned that you would have to wait an entire year, is that correct, before you can determine it? So let's say somebody takes over an existing business in 6 months, somebody doesn't want it and they give it to somebody else. How do we know they're not going to change the business model, and then you have to wait a year to get those financials? You know what I'm saying? And it's a glorified video gaming cafe. That's what I'm trying to avoid, is to kind of strive for more business diversity downtown and avoid going down the business, you know, the video gaming cafe route.
Just to clarify, you don't have to wait a year. So if we see it, every month I do the numbers through the state, and you'll see them tonight in government operations for March and April. So if we see that pattern over just one quarter, 3 months, we can do that comparison, and then the liquor commissioner has the authority to suspend, revoke, or alter the number of machines, just in a quarter. If that is exhibited for the entire year, it wouldn't be eligible for renewal the following year. So we have some pretty good processes in place, thanks to Mr. Peppers, that I think we feel pretty strongly about.
And then the last thing I have is the language. It says the city's liquor control commissioner may require a license holder to provide financial tax operational records. May is very subjective and very, I don't have to, right? So I don't know if that's something, the word may seems very ambiguous to me.
Thank you, Mr. Werble. Well, the alternative would be shall, but this gives the liquor commissioner the discretion based on information that the chief was trying to point out to you to then raise the presumption, should the liquor commissioner want to do it, she may have the ability to do it. It's not she shall do it, it's she may do it. I'm very comfortable with may as opposed to shall.
So it's discretionary then at the end of the day. You're using discretion to determine whether or not, by using the word may.
Well, there's going to be some forensic data that the chief has already pointed out he's going to be bringing forward that I think will give the basis for the ability to do that.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. Just to recap, I know at the winter retreat, this was brought up because there's a lot of local businesses that had reached out to the city, aldermen, all different kind of things, you know, looking for, you know, support. I think it's important for everyone to realize that, you know, these business owners, most of them are local, live local. They're investing in our city, investing lots of money in our city to make it better. I think it's okay for the city to, you know, help the businesses and, you know, providing some flexibility within the ordinance. I have zero doubt that the chief is able to enforce and monitor what's going on. He's been doing it 100% satisfactory for 6 years. I have zero doubt that our council has written out the ordinance the correct way to protect us. So I'm in full support of this. Thank you very much, Chief.
Thank you.
Prior to this evening, the way the ordinance stands now, a video gaming cafe can come here, but they have to stick around for a year prior to getting a license. Not to say they would do that. Does this change that same avenue, meaning if somebody wanted to come around from Dottie's or you name them, and stick it out for a year?
They're prohibited. If that is their purpose, and, we look at their business model, which obviously they would have to bring forth first for a liquor license.
Sure.
And that, the cart kind of comes before the horse as far as what you're talking about. But we would see that, should they get a liquor license, if we saw that demonstrated behavior that they were a cafe and it wasn't an ancillary use, they wouldn't get a gaming license.
So this modifies that as well?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Any other comments? Right.
Is there other language, I understand how you evaluate to determine, sales receipts and how much percentage of the revenue is dedicated to what source, but is there any other revenue, and maybe this is looking at other cities, but to protect against, if I'm a business owner and I want to come in and open a cafe and I'm smart enough to know, what our numbers need to be, but is there other ways that you can protect that we don't have, somebody wants to run a mini casino, or is it just that's the only way you can do it?
Brian, it's a good question. Every community that I'm involved with that we've looked at really uses that metric of revenue. But if you'll notice in the statute, we went further in prohibiting video gaming cafes by, if you look at floor plans, ratio of area to, operationally for a machine versus what might be sit down. So we've moved past just a number into an analysis of what the facility might be, for example. So it gives just another opportunity for staff and the commissioner to say, yeah, this isn't what you portrayed yourself to be, so now we're going to either not give you the license up front, or we're going to have the opportunity to bring them in front of the liquor commissioner.
Yep.
I would just think one of the biggest deterrents having a cafe is you can't have signage. You can't tell them what you're doing. I'm not really sure how they advertise.
Good point.
Yeah. You just, a quick comment. I certainly trust you, Chief, and you'll do the job in making sure that everybody stays above board. I still, though, see great detriment in video gaming, so for sure I don't support expanding it. So I'm still voting no, but with that, I trust Chief, you'll do what you need to do.
Okay, if there aren't any more questions or comments, I will ask the audience for public comment.
I feel like I'm in front of you guys all the time now. I apologize for my casual attire. I flew in from New York for my niece's college graduation this morning. So,
can you give your name and?
Steve Mayer, owner of Flagship on the Fox and soon to open Duke's Northwoods. I'd like to start off by thanking the City Council and Mayor Vitek for actually hearing this motion. I've had businesses in other towns, City of Chicago, et cetera, where this wouldn't be done. So I do appreciate you guys taking the time to at least consider the motion. After that, I would like to point out the owners of the other businesses that are here. We have the owners of The Hive, we have the owners of Bogarts and Lewis, and we have the owners of The Office and soon to open Whiskey Bin, as well as myself, obviously. I would like to highlight how removing this 1 year waiting period actually does help the bars and restaurants. And I would like to echo Mr. Lencioni and Mr. Weber's points about how we do invest in the city of St. Charles, how we all do live in St. Charles. We are residents here too. So firstly, I'd like to start off with, due to COVID-19, 3 of us are actually opening new locations, right? We are so far over budget due to supply chain issues, due to labor shortages. We're paying rent when we're not even open yet. Removing this 1 year moratorium, it adds an influx of income that helps us out. And it's not just me, it's multiple places that are set to open in our wonderful town. With that said, the first year of owning a restaurant or bar, and I don't know if anybody has ever done this before, it is extremely difficult. We have big staff. Due to COVID-19, our payrolls are extremely high right now. And I'm not saying this is a bad thing, but we're not paying somebody $12, $13, $14 an hour. I don't think I have anybody on staff under $16 an hour, $17 an hour, up to $23. The stress that overall causes on our bottom line is pretty insane. Add on to that, with COVID-19, the cost of goods that has increased, whether it's fuel surcharges from every distributor, whether our bread, because there's wheat shortages, have gone up, whether there's beef shortages, whether there's chicken shortages. And these are all numbers that you guys can definitely find. But these are acting against every bar and restaurant in this town, right? Removing the year moratorium helps us out. It gives us some more flexibility. So I think those are the main things. I'd be happy to answer any questions. I've seen both sides of it. We operated for 2.5 years without gaming. We opened in June of 2019. We got gaming December of 2021. We've had it 5 months now. I don't think we've had one customer come in that wasn't they already came in. It hasn't changed our demographic, our clientele, one bit. And I'll be the first to say, and I think everybody else in this town, or operators would say, we have very good clientele. We don't have punks coming in. We have, people I see in this room, wherever they sit, stand, whatever it is. It doesn't bring in a bad clientele, and ideally it helps out the small business owner. It helps out the municipality. It helps out the state. It gives better, parks for our residents and other stuff. So I'd be happy to answer any questions to the best of my ability. But thank you again for, at least hearing this.
Thank you, Steve.
All right.
Any other comments from the audience? Okay. Okay. My name is Nina Barudia. I'm the owner of the Hive Tavern right downtown St. Charles. We've been open for maybe about 9 months now. And kind of to reiterate what Steve was saying, that it is, I don't know if any of you have opened up a business. Mm-hmm. This is my first one. I'm born and raised St. Charles. I am a part of the community. I've been a part of the community. I'm alumni of St. Charles North High School, graduated in 2009. I've worked at the Hive Tavern, which the Hive was before. I managed Main Street Pub. I actually even worked for Steve for 2.5 years and helped, did my best of bartending for him and opening up Flagship. He's taught me a lot, thank God for him. But I decided to go on my own path, especially when Main Street Pub closed down and didn't want just an empty building in St. Charles, because that's not a good look for a town. It was in the middle of COVID that I did open up my business. It wasn't easy. We opened up a couple of months after that I wanted to because of costs, prices, and it's not getting any better. It's really not. It's getting worse, and it's going to keep getting worse. And to reiterate with the gaming, and I know there was a lot of questions of, well, why would we do this for only 6 people in the room? Well, it's not just the 6 people that are in the room right now. It's for the future. It's for the future businesses that are struggling, that are, trying to keep afloat, that are, it's one less thing that a business owner has to worry about. Money problems will always be there, no matter what you do, whether you're opening up a flower shop or whatever. But with this business here, there's something that we can have a solution for. So why not let us have that solution for the town? It's proven itself that it's not a problem. Fights have not broken out. I mean, all the businesses that are within here too, Chief Keegan over here, we talk to him. We stay in communication with him with anything that's going on. So, I mean, help us out. That's
especially within the first year. A restaurant, they say a restaurant doesn't last over a year. So, thank you. Any other? Go ahead.
And my issue isn't that there's crime associated with video gaming, just so you know. And since, Chief, you said 2015, also know that Gamblers Anonymous has grown by 30% in St. Charles. So that's the detriment I'm talking about, not fights breaking out at machines. No, that's ridiculous. No. It's just the addictive nature of it. And to be honest, we've heard businesses come up here and say, oh, you know, when we first voted this in, we need to do it, our place is falling apart, you know, we have to have this. And I still go into that business and see torn, you know, booths and upholstery, and I see businesses making hand over fist, and I see no improvements going on. They're not, are they giving back to the community? If they say so, okay. I'm just not seeing it. And I know two businesses that their last ditch effort was getting video gaming because to save their business, and guess what? It didn't, and they both failed. So I hope that that's not why you're doing this. I hope you're doing it because it's an expectation of your clientele, not to save your business, because that's just, it's not going to work. It's not going to work.
You mind if I comment about?
Oh, sure.
Steve, go. One more quick comment, please. Yep. Go ahead.
So it's not to save business or anything like that.
Okay.
It is, I mean, it is to kind of, it's to bring people into, and I completely understand as well, like with the Gambling Anonymous, like an addiction is an addiction. I've had people come into the Hive. I've had people call the Hive. I've had people, you know, ask me, do you have gaming? If they walk in, do you have gaming? Nope, they're walking right back out. And it's a competitive nature.
Okay.
It's hard to compete with the other businesses. So it's not for renovations. It's not for anything. It's honestly, it's for competing with the people next to me.
Great. Appreciate your honesty.
Yeah,
Thank you.
absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay.
I just got two things. Number one, when we say 6, obviously 6 is the number of businesses. Within each of those businesses, there's multiple employees. With those employees, there's families. It's not just 6. But with that being said, I'd like to make a motion to approve this change in the city code.
Second.
Moved by Weber, seconded by Lencioni. Any other questions or comments? Nance, please call the roll.
Haylander?
No.
Bongard?
Yes.
Bancroft?
Yes.
Lencioni?
Yes.
Petrola?
Yes.
Wirball?
No.
Besner?
Yes.
Weber?
Yes.
Kulkaitis?
No.
Fowler?
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you. Moving on to committee reports. Government operations.
Nothing further, Your Honor.
Thank you. Government services, Ed.
Nothing further, Your Honor.
Planning and development, Steve.
Nothing further, Your Honor.
Okay. Any additional public comments? Okay. I just have a couple of items, actually one. Just thank you to the City Council and directors who were present for the Charlemagne Awards on Friday night supporting the Chamber. It was really nice to see Ray Rogina win the Charlemagne Award. For me, it was. So I know I sent him a big congratulations, and many of you do too as well. So hope you enjoyed the evening. Any comments? I think Rich Bala has a comment.
Yeah, I just want to let everyone know, unfortunately, I am going to be moving out of the First Ward, so this will be my last meeting. So in the very near future, I'm going to be tendering my resignation, and I'm moving out of the First Ward. Good news is I'm staying in the city of St. Charles, so I'm not moving out of the city.
What ward? Yes, we're
I'll
dying to
keep
know.
that to myself.
Well, Rich, thank you for serving for the time that you have on City Council. We appreciate it, and I know you're committed to the city, so we thank you for everything you've done.
No problem.
Anyone else? Any comments? Any comments from staff? We do not have an executive session, so I'm just looking for a motion to adjourn.
So moved. Second.
Moved by Lencioni, second by Petrilla. Nance, please call the roll.
Haylander?
What are we doing, adjourning?
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Bongard?
Yes.
Bancroft?
Yes.
Lencioni?
Yes.
Petrola?
Yes.
Wirball?
Yes.
Besner?
Yes.
Weber?
Yes.
Kulkaitis?
Yes.
Fowler?
Yes.